Dean, I'm always excited the day that I know I'm going to be speaking to you because every time I do, I know that I'm going to be more inspired, I'm going to be more stimulated, more creative, and I want to just thank you for taking the time to have this conversation.
Oh man, you do the same exact thing for me, brother. So this is going to be fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So you're up to some really, I think, world-changing things, quite frankly, and I'm not being hyperbolic. I really believe that the impact will be huge. And what's coming up now, this theme or this concept of owning your future, I think is so important because there's so much uncertainty in the world right now, right? And people feel like they've lost control, but the reality is they can take control, and you're putting together an event to help them do exactly that. So can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, I mean, this is a crazy time. I think we can all agree that uncertainty is at an all-time high. Not knowing where things are going to go causes fear and anxiety in some cases. And if you felt that way, that, congratulations for being human. But I also think in times like these, Patrick, and I know you and I have had in-depth conversations. I love the last conversation when you were at our home. My wife still talks about it and can't wait till we all get together again, you with your wife. Um, but I think in times like these, without us realizing, we kind of sit back, sometimes even sit on our hands, and we're waiting to see where things land. We're subconsciously waiting for someone else to give us a directive or fix it or show us the way the things are going to go. And then we'll make that decision. And unfortunately, I believe, and my partner, Tony Robbins, and I know you feel the same way, is if you sit on your hands or you're waiting for someone else to do something right now, you're already on the way of being left behind.
Yeah.
And catch up is really difficult. Trying to find it. And I believe, just what you said earlier, that this could be the greatest time in history to own your future, to take ownership, to be the first to pivot, to be the role model, to be the leader, to tap into your full potential, whatever you want to call it. I mean, we've all heard when one door closes, another one opens, right? You've all heard it. But the fact of the matter is, Patrick, when one door closes, most people stand outside the door, jiggling the handle, waiting for someone to open it back up.
Right,
Right.
right.
And the truth of the matter is, what's on the other side of where you used to be probably isn't the exact life you wanted anyway. Didn't COVID give us that gift to really make us sit with ourselves and say, hey, is this the place? Is this the direction I really want my life? And I just want to encourage people to say, hey, COVID took a lot away, but it also gave us gifts if you know where to look. So we're trying to encourage people to be reporters, to be investigative reporters, to pivot, to shift, to at least explore that there are areas exponentially growing that can fill your heart, can fill your soul, and can also create massive success because some industries are exponentially growing. So I guess the Own Your Future Challenge, my partner and friend, Tony Robbins, we sat down and said, man, there's too many people letting someone else be in control. There's too many people telling you what you should do when really how we fix the world, how we heal the global economies, we fix the economy in our homes. How do we heal the global messaging? We've changed the messaging in our home, and we decided to lock arms and do a challenge that we're going to put 1 million people in. And I know 1 million sounds like hyperbole, right? But the fact of the matter is we did a challenge in January about mindset shifts, and we put 837,000 people in it from 180 countries around the world. And the impact was ginormous. It was huge. So now that was about your mindset shifts. Now on May 11th, we're doing a free 5-day challenge called Own Your Future to show you how to shift your economics, to explore and to create your own economy in this crazy world.
And this is the thing I love about the way that you approach this, is that it's literally free to register, join, come in. You've got 5 days of training from really you, Tony, the best trainers in the world. And I can say, I think unabashedly, there's no way for you to enter that experience and simultaneously walk away the same you were before you started.
Yeah.
So, and that's, I think, the why in showing up. What are some of the motivators or the trends that you say, wow, here's the things we're going to cover that I think can get you to really make some big changes in your life?
Yeah, so think about it, right? The world shifts and some things grow, some things don't. And one of the biggest things that are growing, the biggest industry, is the self-education industry. Same industry you're in. Listen, not only are we in this industry, Patrick, let's face it, you and I, without self-education, would we be who we are? Would we be the parents we are, the husbands we are, the friends we are, the leaders, the businesses? And it's not just, oh, look how great we are. I owe everything to learning from other people who've already done it, who've already forged the path. But this is an industry that's not for Patrick and Dean and Tony Robbins and the leaders that you see. It's an industry right now that's available to everyone. Technology has lowered the barrier to entry, and people need, and what did COVID do? It created social distancing, but it created virtual connections where people are learning from other people online at a record pace, where Forbes says this industry will grow to $1 billion a day in the next 3 years, $1 billion a day, right? Why? Because when you go to start something, somebody else has already had that experience. And if they're willing to share, they built the bridge for you. You know, I say this a lot, Patrick, but I've been saying it more recently when people say, well, I don't know if I have anything to share. And this is what I'd tell you. If you had a week to prepare, and you knew at the end of the week, you had the opportunity to spend an hour with your 20-year-old self, how much would you have to share when it came to relationships, when it came to starting your own business, when it came not to listening to everybody else, to realize that you didn't need resources, you just needed to be resourceful, that you should be loved at the level you think you should be loved, that you can start your own thing, whether your parents and your professors thought you could or not. Imagine how much value it would be if you could spend just an hour with your 20-year-old self, and you'll start realizing how much life experience you have, things you've been through, how you're a chapter, 5 chapters, a whole book ahead of other people, and realize that there's a lot of people out there like your 20-year-old self starting off on day one of the thing that you spent a year, 5, 10, or 20 mastering, right? I mean, Patrick, when you started as a chiropractor, you spent years forging the path of inventing, innovating, changing, making such an impact that there was other chiropractors starting on day one. They could take 10 years to figure out what Patrick did, or they could say, hey, can I cut this guy a check so I can get where he is now? And that's what smart entrepreneurs and smart people around the world realize. It's not how to get things done anymore. That's the old way to get to where you wanted to go. I really want you to, if you take nothing from this interview today, take this. The old way to get to where you wanted is the word how. How do I get better at this? How do I fix my marriage? How do I make sure my kids are okay? How do I go vegan? How do I get better online? How do I sell better? How do I ramp up social media? How is overwhelming. The new word is who. Who's already done it and is willing to share it with me? Who can I cut a check, small, big, medium, that can condense decades into days? I'm on one side of the ravine. I want to get to the other. Someone already built the bridge. But here's the crazy part about today's world is you're that bridge for somebody else if you understand that your life experience is your asset, right? Your journey is your commodity. Your brain is your warehouse. You have a product that's unlimited. Knowledge is the new currency. It's unlimited. People want it. And what we're going to show you over 5 days is how to shift your mindset around this industry, how to understand this industry, why now, why you, how to unlock that currency that lives inside of your head, how to find the people that want it through social media instead of it using you, how to use it, how to elegantly sell through service, not feeling like a salesperson, how to teach it through a story teach tool model. This is what we're doing. This is not 5 days of rah-rah. This is 5 days, about 2 hours a day. Tony Robbins, myself, and some of the top trainers in the world. You're going to lose your mind when you go to the link and see who's in this event, all hell bent on exposing you to this industry that I believe is a revolution. It's a wave, and you have the opportunity to be in front of it and learn from some really cool people. And you know, everybody says this is a once in a lifetime thing, but I really believe this is. I think we'll hit 1 million people. And I think when the world opens up, the speakers we have, Tony will be on the road 250 days a year. Wrangling all these people together is an impossible task, but we did. And we're really excited about having as many people as we can. And what we tell everybody, and I know we have a link for you, Patrick, and I just want to share it here in case, write this down. Ownit81.com. Ownit81.com is a link. Do me a favor, go check out what we're doing. The page explains it. See the other incredible speakers that are there to serve. They're all, and here's the cool part, I'll be honest, they're all coming for free. We didn't have to pay one of them. They know the world needs this right now more than ever, and they all volunteered their time. I bet you know every single one of the speakers, but I'm going to tell you 2 more things to do. When you go there, not only register and put it in your phone so you don't miss it. There's no replay. This is going to be a live training and then it's gone forever. That's a true story. So get there. But number 2, take that ownit81.com and send it to someone else that needs it. Like right now, when you're done, register, send it to someone, not only someone who needs it, also send it to someone who could be your accountability partner. You know, if you hike a mountain with a friend, you go faster. You show up to the gym with a friend, you'd get it done. Make sure you don't just let this be a passive thing. Send it to a friend, have accountability partner to do it with you. And then the last thing, and Patrick, I think you and I know this so well. I've been saying this a lot, but I'll be redundant. Pretend you paid $10,000 for this training. It's free. But so many times in life, we disqualify things that are free. If we don't pay attention. Like, oh, Tony Dean and all those speakers, it's free. If I show up, pretend you paid $10,000 because in any other time in history, you might. Yeah. You pretend you paid $10,000, you'll show up with pen in hand, your journal in hand, you'll shut off the distractions, and you'll see the value that myself, Tony, and this group is delivering.
And just to echo that, I have indeed more than a few times paid $10,000 for less. So,
so have I. So have I.
So a very, very valid approach. And I'm glad you spoke about accountability. You know, I had spent some of the most important experiences I've had, you know, as an entrepreneur over the years is when I was in accountability groups with 3 or 4 other entrepreneurs, getting together every week, rhythmic basis, holding each other accountable. And the impact that had in my life was extraordinary. So having an accountability partner in this with you, I think, is something that can amplify the experience significantly. I'm an absolute advocate in your mission as far as, you know, self-education. And I'll tell you, you know, people may talk about it, but in my case, you know, I'm taking really my highest values and putting it in there. I look at my 16-year-old son and I'm realizing, man, his high school education and the way that's going, it's constricting. In COVID, especially more. It's getting to be disturbing. I think they're destroying self-confidence. I think the whole, it's a very confining mindset. And it creates confusion and it creates uncertainty. And the whole point about owning your future is saying uncertainty doesn't win. It never does. You have to take control and own it. So we're literally, he's done. We're going to be pulling him out of school, finish it at home school, and I'm putting him into courses. He'll be on this challenge. He's going to be doing courses that are going to take him and create a future for him as compared to the roadblocks I feel like the normal education system is putting in front of him right now. It's always been not that great, but I think in the COVID world it's gotten worse. So I believe that your timing right now is literally heroic. Boy, are there people who need this right now. There's been an immense destruction to the middle class, and there's people who have to now take control of their future. So I, for one, you know, can't wait for the event. I'm going to get as many people there that can possibly listen to me and tell them they need to be there, and my own family's going to be there.
Yeah, and you know, thank you for saying that. I'm on the same path with my daughter. I would bet to say that we're going to go down that same road. Yeah. And I believe you're right. And this has become a mission for Tony and I. This is a passion project. This is a movement that we are not, you know, we neither one of us need another business. We're doing this because it's a must. It's not a should, it's a must. And one more thing I want to share, Patrick, just chatting with you because I love our conversations. I want everyone to realize this isn't an industry that we're born into. This is an industry we all evolve into, and every single one of you watching or listening right now can. I mean, I want to ask you, Patrick, when you went to med school and you became a chiropractor, did you ever think in a million years that someday you would be an educator in however you want to call that, or sharing or helping people go faster? And look at the light. Listen, I want to tell you something. You are such a rock star. When I go to my chiropractor and I mentioned your name one day, he's like, you know, Patrick, like it was like I knew Elvis, right? But would you have ever thought if someone came to you at 24 years old and said, hey, did you know you're going to go through school? You're going to be a chiropractor. You're going to be innovative. You're going to help people. And then all other chiropractors are going to learn to go faster from you. You probably be like, I'm not a teacher, right? Like, how would you think that would feel?
No, I mean, it was unimaginable, you know, at a point in time when I got out of school and got into practice, I had no concept that would be, you know, my destiny or the path that I followed. But it was through mentors, you know, that were out there like you, like Tony, like the people that you have here. So when you can find those mentors, they open up creativity and possibility that you're otherwise not considering. And nobody understands it's everything. Form follows energy. It starts with a thought, which is an energetic thing before it creates form in the world. And if you're confined in your thinking, you're going to be confined in your experience. So to your point, I never could have guessed it, couldn't imagine. Matter of fact, if anybody said to me, "Oh, your main thing is going to be making documentary film series and putting,"
well, that's what I was just going to say.
Yeah, 5 years ago, I would have said you're out of your mind.
No, think about that journey from med school to chiropractor to innovator to visionary to educating other people, and now you're making some of the best documentaries that exist on the planet, educating people on information that they need in this shifting world where so many things are hidden. I mean, who would have ever thought? But it all started through self-education. And I look at my life, I wouldn't be where I am if self-education wasn't something I learned from and then reverse engineered it and gave it back to people. And I really encourage you to go register for the challenge, get a friend in, and just come open-minded. Like Patrick said, you cannot come and not leave a different person. Whether you decide this is an industry for you or not, come be inspired and come be an explorer. It's going to be something pretty special.
Yeah, so I couldn't have said any better. Just show up, get there, and let the magic happen. And if you're open, it's impossible for you not to be positively impacted. And I always look at it in one way and say, if you don't show up, what are you telling yourself? It's the wrong message you're sending to yourself. And if the current version of me is talking to the 20-year-old version of me, it'd be show up for this type of a thing and watch the magic unfold for the rest of your life, because it's exactly what happens. So Dean, thank you so much for taking the time to share here, and even more so for putting on this event. I can't wait to be there.
Thanks, Patrick. It's always awesome talking to you and everybody else. I'll see you on May 11th. It starts at 2:00 Eastern Standard Time. Literally put it in your phone right now, because I'd hate for you guys to miss it. It's going to be amazing. And Patrick, as always, thanks for the support.
Thank you, brother. Talk soon.